Hey everybody, CaptainJack here from the MindCrafters with another IC2 nuclear power tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how I set up my reactors and how to keep them cool and how to get them so they output a lot of energy. This is actually in a reply to a comment posted on the video for this reactor here. This was the 4360 output per tick or U per tick reactor. Somebody wanted to know how I build them, and hopefully I can help you out with that right now. So I'm going to start with placing a nuclear reactor. That's the name of the block. We're going to put one up in the air there and then surround it by 6 reactor chambers. The next thing I want to do is I want to be able to monitor, and I actually threw one over here already. I want to be able to monitor what's going on inside the reactor. I want to see how much heat it has, how long the cycle is on it. So I'm going to put our industrial information panel down. And in order to link these two things, you're going to need a remote sensor kit. You're going to have to go to your reactor, right click, and you'll notice that it gave me a reactor sensor location card. We're going to take that, put it in this slot here, and we'll name it CaptainJack's reactor. Okay, all caps. Now this needs power, so we're going to throw a lever on the side. We're going to turn it on. Oh, and it's out of range. If you do choose to build your industrial information panels far away, you're going to need to throw in some range upgrades, and that's this block right here. You just put in enough until it finds it. There we go. That's CaptainJack's reactor. And if for whatever reason you want to make this panel larger, just throw down some information panel extenders on either side. You can make this as big or as small as you want. So there we go. The reactor's off. It has no heat inside the core. It's going to tell you what the max heat it can take is, when it's going to start to melt, and how much it's putting out and what's remaining on the cycle. Next thing you want to do is you want to be able to turn the reactor on and off. So there's our on-off switch, and if we look over there, it goes on. We're going to flip it off for now. Let's take this button off just so we don't click it accidentally. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make this thing safe. And in order to make it safe, we are going to need a force field. I'm going to show you how to set one of those up as well. So you're going to start out with here they are, force field core. And again, I'm just going to throw one up in the air there. And you can look inside this. It says force field core, force field power storage, transmit range, all that fun stuff. And we're going to have to supply this thing with some power. So we're going to drop an HV solar array right on top of there, and there we go. It's starting to load up with power, and that power is going to be used to power the force field on the reactor. So now we're at max power, but just in case, if you're afraid it's not going to be able to supply enough power, or if you do only have one HV solar array and you're afraid it won't last through the night, you can slap on some force field core storage upgrades, and we're going to throw 3 on there. And you'll notice it's going to be able to hold a lot more power. The last thing we're going to want to do is put a force field range upgrade. It's a core range upgrade so that it can reach that reactor over there. I'm not exactly sure how far away you can place this without needing this block, but we're going to drop one on there anyway. So here we go. We have the force field core, and this is going to provide protection for that. And what we want to do next is we want to get one of these. It's a blank ARS card. And if you right click on the reactor or this force field core, you're going to get a force field frequency card. And this is just telling this force field where to project the force field. Alright, next we're going to put a reactor containment field projector on the outside of this. And that's going to require that card that we just picked up from the force field core. And when you drop it inside of there, it'll tell you that has available power for this. Now all you need to do is flip this thing on. Next thing we need is a reactor coolant injector, and you don't always need these. This is just for this reactor here, which requires a lot of lapis to keep the LZH condensators charged up so we don't blow up. And what this is going to do is going to take lapis, which I'll get out of the box over here. Also make it daytime. Put some in there. Alright, so we got some lapis there, and I'm going to throw a lever on the side of this. There we go, it's on. That doesn't mean the reactor's on, it just means the force field is on. And you'll notice that when you flip that on, you can see this thing right here is just gray, dull looking. When you turn this on, you're going to see that it's lit up blue. That means that the coolant injector is powered. That was one of the other questions somebody had on one of the other videos about how to get this thing powered. You do need this thing, the reactor containment field projector. So now we have a force field, a way to keep this thing safe. We have a coolant injector here that's going to dump lapis into the reactor to cool the LZH condensators. We have a force field set up. We have a core over there. And now we're going to throw in the main bits and pieces of this reactor here. So let's keep all this stuff up here temporarily. And we'll start out with LZH condensators here. I'm just going to indiscriminately dump these in here for a second. I'm going to pull out some quaduranium cells. Don't think I'll need more than that. And we're just going to do a simple setup. This is not going to be like the setup you saw. Actually, I didn't even show the setup inside the that high output or extreme voltage reactor over there. Let's see. I'm gonna load this thing up. We do have a few too many of these. These are extremely hard to make, so good luck with that. There we go. Actually, I'm going to use this delete mode tool. It's going to help me out a lot. I'm going to dump these all in here. Alright, so there we go. This thing's up and running. And it should be safe to turn on. If I could find where my levers went. Might have thrown them out by accident. Alright, so I'm going to put this... Actually, in order to turn it on, I'm just going to slap this red wire here. So that will go from the switch to the force field projector right onto the reactor. And if I flip that, there we go. We have a 2800 EU per tick reactor. Has zero heat. It's turned on, it's running. There we go. Now, this thing needs to keep lapis inside of it. Because whenever one of these things reaches, like I said in the other video, whenever it reaches a heat of 7,000, it's going to throw a lapis in there, recharge it, and keep them running. So in order to keep this thing full of lapis, we're going to have something that goes and gets lapis. And that's where red power comes in. I'm going to throw down everything I think I need for this. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a retrievulator. This is the input side, and the output side's over here. This is a retrievulator and a retriever. And then we're going to drop a target chest here, just like this. I'm going to put more lapis inside of there. Or you can do it this way, and it'll keep continuously go and get lapis. Or I'm actually going to set this up different. I'm just going to drop a sorting machine here, because these things are boss now. I'm going to drop a sorting machine, this right in here. I'm going to change this so that it's going to just shoot stuff right in there. And in order to power this, we're going to, of course, need electricity. And I don't have a battery box. There we go. So I'll drop this down here. I'll throw a couple solar panels on it. That'll start to fill up. And we'll attach this with some wire here. Okay. And when this thing starts gaining power, what it's going to do, it's going to take everything from this chest and just throw it right into there. You can see it just lit up for a second. And it actually is just going to take the whole stack. So let's get some more lapis in here. Alright, and if there's any free space, it's just going to automatically just jam that thing full. And when the reactor is on, just going to keep loading lapis in there until you have no more. I'm not going to really explain to you how to set up the retrievators to go find lapis. What you would want to do if you had a sorting machine set up like this is that you would want a retrievalator here, a retriever pulling stuff in, and then you would also attach, presumably if you had a high-speed system, you would attach a mag tube. Just like this, and this would pull in from any other place in your factory, and it would just go and find it, even if the chest was right here, and it would keep this chest loaded up. Whenever there was free lapis, as long as it was connected to your system, it's going to keep it loaded. I did not use a sorting machine on the last nuclear power tutorial that I did, because I didn't know really what you could do with them. But there it is. There's also some other things that you can use. This thing is a really handy piece. It's called a reactor connector, and if you watch our Tech It Light walkthrough, you'll see these things connected. And what this is it transfers a redstone signal or energy directly through that, and it cuts the force field block. You can see if I had this, if I had the redstone or the red wire back in here, you can see how it cuts through here, and so if there ever was an explosion, it would blow straight out here, and that's not really ideal. So the way to get around those is to attach these things here, reactor connectors. You can also attach your HV transformer directly to this. Don't have a wrench. Let me just make sure the transformer, the input side is there. I'm going to attach that. Then we're going to attach an MFSU right here with the output side facing that way. And what we're also going to do is going to put one right over here to eliminate the need for that. I'm going to slap some torches on here, or not torches, levers. There we go. So we got the force field on, and the reactor's on, as you can see. And these things cut the blocks to maintain your perfectly square force field, so in the event of a disaster, hopefully not much damage is done. Oh, I attached an MFSU to that thing. That was dumb. There we go. I'm going to attach a transformer to that one. Let's try this one more time. An HV transformer, making sure the input is here. Connector, MFSU, that should work. There we go, we got an MFSU loading up. It's gaining power pretty quick. It is a 2800 EU per tick reactor. And this is it. This is how we set stuff up. Like I said before, I'm not going to go through how to automatically craft your own quad uranium cells. I'm not going to go through how to pull out the quad uranium cells once they're depleted, or once they've made near depleted uranium cells. It's basically the same system as this here. All you have to do is attach a pneumatic tube to the edge of one of these things. And then just set, actually a sorting machine might do perfectly in this case. Just set this sorting machine to only pull out near depleted cells, and it'll just knock them out and put them wherever you want them. So that's it. I hope this helps. This is a reactor. I'll show you this reactor design. Again, I did say in the other video, it's not my original design, but this is the maximum amount of quad uranium cells that you can fit in there. There we go. That's the design for the Black Pearl reactor from a different video. And this one's 4360. And this is doing the same thing, just crammed in. That's making scrap boxes down there. Why can't I click this thing? Oh, it's through the reactor, duh. Okay. But that's it. Hope this helps. If you want any more information, please ask. I'd be more than willing to clarify anything that was not clear on this, but this is a perfectly safe setup. These things are new here. Hopefully that's something that you can incorporate into your design. And that's it. CaptainJack's nuclear reactor setup tutorial. Follow us on our channel, check it out, subscribe, and check out our website at themindcrafters.com. Thanks for watching.